guys, if you got a Polaris 600 RMK, this one is a long track, 155, put few videos about it. So the issue I faced, it ran like a champ during the winter time. Summarized it, stabilized it, ran it for 5 minutes to make sure I ran the stabilizer through everything. Looks like everything was fine. Started months later, I let it run a little bit. And I tried a couple of months later, it's summertime right now. I've not been able to start it, so the carburetor was certainly gummed up. It can happen, so I opened it. And it was very clean in it. See, it's still apart. You see the main jet, see those two jets. You have the float. So I opened the lower bowl. So you have two of them. So anyway, to get there, it's a pain in the butt, of course. Nothing is easy. But first you remove the airbox. It's right here. It's located right there. So you have a latch on top on that one. Rubber latch, just unsnap it, then disconnect the two spark plugs, just remove that connector, and then you kind of wiggle the box back and forth and you will be able to move it out. Then you get to the carburetor. Oh, and on the airbox you have the ignition controller right here, two screws on the side, they just come right there. Just unscrew that, remove the ignition controller, put that on the side. So remove that airbox, then you get to the carburetor. The carburetor, what a pain. So you have to remove a couple of little hoses. Those two were attached to the airbox. Okay, it's connected right there. Then you have the two lines going right there. Two little hoses, they're right here. So they're not that bad, they're not that complicated to remove. I think it's going to be a pain in the butt to put back. And that connector right here, this is the one, you don't have much access to it. It's you have to figure out how to remove that. Once you know, it's very easy, but if you don't know, you're gonna waste some time on it. But you have a little tab right here. So basically from the top, just pinch it with a plier and pull it upward. Remove the gas line as well. That red line that was connected right here on the carburetor assembly. And then you wiggle it out to get it out of those two orifices. You have two of them. Take that out. So then carburetor by itself, you have that ball on the bottom and you'll see only one screw. So luckily that one is stripped. Don't know what was done before, so I cannot remove that one. So we need to make something to unscrew that one and then clean it. On the other side, so you will see, if I explain on that side, you have that little screw and you only see one screw and say, how the hell do I remove that? And actually, this is a connector that goes to the drain plugs. Got the drain plugs right here. Remove them, empty them, clean them. Be careful, they will be full of gas. But that one actually is inside. Just unscrew that. Remove that little screw and then you can pop that lower ball. And as you will see, that's the assembly that goes to the drain plug. It's holding the cap, sealing that with that gasket, and it's actually screwing right here inside around the main jet. So that's pretty much what you need to do. And after, you can take it apart a lot further. It's a little bit more complicated to make sure you access all the inside and clean everything. So anyway, okay, couple more things. The accelerator, when I move it, you want to make sure the opening is synced and proper, and they're very well synced. and actually they can only be synced on that one. Some others are talking about adjustment, but that one, see where it's moving right here, they're attached together by that side rod, so they will be no matter what coordinated. That second cable right here is a choke, or the starter. So that one right here, if I move it, then you're going to increase your gas ratio when it's cold. So that's all it's doing. So that's pretty much it on my side for the carburetor. What I did also, I did remove the spark plug. I buffed them, cleaned them, cleaned the top connection also. They were very grimy, very black. So it's not improving the connection as well. And you can also test them. Tons of videos about that. Different ways of doing it as well. So okay, so now I'm gonna get to the funniest. You won't see that in the video, or you will hear me cussing, but I'm gonna put it back together and try to restart it and see if I improved anything. So anyway, if you have any question or comment, just don't hesitate and hit the thumbs up if that helps you. Hopefully it did. Sorry I did not demonstrate during the disassembly, but I was pain in a rear, and I very hard access to be able to point properly at the camera and shows what to do. So that's why I wanted to describe it that way. Okay, hope it helps, guys. Okay, a little bit of progress putting that back. About 10 minutes so far. I put back the lower ball, reattach everything, ensure the gasket was in place. Attach the two line, I think they're the oil line because it's oil injected. Attach both of them, and actually they're re-snapping very easy. If we can get a clear. No, okay, that one, and you have one on the other side of the second carburetor. Pretty easy. Put the collar, re-snap that electrical connection right here. That one, very easy. Then put the gas line again. So push it and wiggle it, and put the collar back in place. So that's pretty much all you need to do about the carburetor. I'm gonna pop those lines up so I don't forget to put them back on the airbox. And you have a connector that went, so that one right here is connected here for the spark plug contact. So don't want to put that, forget to put that either. So what I'm going to do right now is articulate the box, the airbox in place. That one the ignition controller, I will put that last because it just screws on the side. It's pretty easy. So I'm gonna articulate that airbox with those two orifices facing down and going into the carburetor. Once I've got that pretty much in place, I will reconnect that one, then connect the two spark plug the way I remember which one was what. So you might want a number, label, or whatever you want to do. This is on the left, that was on the left spark plug. So that's how I remember to make sure that it's the right location. Once that is in place, don't forget your latch on top. Then put the ignition controller, and then you're good to go. And one more thing, I use the cheap, I don't think there is any need to go fancy. I use the carburetor and air intake cleaner to clean the main jet and the other jets into the carburetor, and clean all those surfaces as well. Okay guys, everything is back in place. So it's a lot easier than it looks too. You know, the first time it's going to be a pain, but once you know what to do, and especially hopefully that video helps you a little bit. The hardest part when you're putting everything back together is putting the airbox back in place. You basically don't have any visibility to see if those rubber boots are going around those two orifices on the carburetors. But as long as you slide that, wiggle it, and put it all the way in place, it should pretty much snap on it. That's my assumption. So anyway, Once that is in place, your box, don't forget to put back the connector right here. It's connected to the wiring for the spark plugs. Put those two lines from the carburetor assembly to the airbox. They snap very easily in it. And then just plug your spark plug. Make sure you know which one was the right one and which one was the left one, vice versa. Also put some mark with a Sharpie pen and number them just in case of. You can label them whatever you want to do. If it's misfiring, means it's not in sequence anymore, means you certainly swap them. So just be careful with that. Everything is in place. I'm gonna recharge the battery. It was a little low. I'm gonna put it on charge and then give it a start, and I hope it's gonna work. So don't forget, when you try to restart it and it's been summarized, you certainly turn off the fuel valve. So that's another thing that you don't want to forget to turn on instead of trying to crank and start it up. Maybe just as simple as that fix. Okay, hope you guys liked it. Thanks.